the language is a problem, your nonverbals are a problem. But the fact that you're working on it, be happy with that. Celebrate those small victories and say, you know what, today was a good day. I only did X 2 times. You know what? I did it 6 times yesterday. Okay, great. You're making progress. As long as you're making progress, just connect with people on a human level. If you can do that, you'll figure it out as you go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frustrated to Fluent. I'm your host, Devon Bruce. I'm the founder and CEO of the English Communication Academy. We help non native English speakers in healthcare communicate effectively with their patients, colleagues, and staff. And today I'm speaking with Terry Tucker. He's a proud former first responder, cancer warrior, author, and motivational speaker committed to helping others find strength, resilience, and purpose no matter what challenges they face. Through his company called Motivational Check, he shares inspiration and real world lessons rooted in belief, discipline, and perseverance. His mission is very simple: to encourage individuals to push through adversity and become the best version of themselves. Whether you're looking to inspire your team, uplift your audience, or just need a daily dose of motivation, he brings messages that are authentic, engaging, and life changing. So, Terry, thank you so much for coming on today.
Devin, thanks for having me on. I'm really looking forward to talking with you.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to talk to you because one of your areas of expertise is nonverbal communication, and something that I feel does not get enough love on the language learning side is nonverbal communication. And so I recently wrote an article about it on LinkedIn, and the response was quite well. I didn't know if people were going to understand that, yes, it's way more than just the words coming out of your mouth. It's so much more than just English. And nonverbal cues and nonverbal communication is one of those things. And so, anyway, the feedback that I got on that was very well received. And so the fact that we're talking about it today, I'm so excited because I know it's going to be helping a lot of people. So really glad that we crossed paths so we could have this discussion.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so now just to get started, I do just want to ask you, just point blank, period. How do you define nonverbal communication, and why is it just as important as the words we speak? I wanted to start off with that because most of us know or have heard of nonverbal communication, but may not know the true definition of it. So, yeah, how would you define that?
I guess let me answer that with a story that I think
Okay.
will kind of go to what we're talking about. One of the jobs that I had in my life is I was a SWAT hostage negotiator for the Cincinnati Police Department, and so I remember when I first started as a negotiator, we were given a formula on how we, as human beings, doesn't matter what country we come from or anything, how we communicate with each other, and the formula was 7, 38, 55. So 7% are the words that we use. And think how many times you've said something, you'll be like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said it that way, or I wish I would have said it differently, whatever. That's only 7% of how that message comes across. 38% is the tone of voice that you use. Are you talking real fast and you can't wait to tell a person you're talking like this? Or are you kind of, oh, this is not good. Things are really bad. And then 55%, so more than half of how that message comes across is our body language and our facial expressions. And I think that's what we're talking about now. And the reason we were given that formula was because as hostage negotiators, if somebody was barricaded in a room with a gun, I was not in the room with them. That would not have been safe for me. And so we didn't have the luxury of that 55%. We didn't have the luxury of saying something and seeing the person kind of roll their eyes like, oh, what an idiot. I can't believe Terry said that to me. So we had to get good at figuring things out, certainly based on what people were saying, but also what they weren't saying and how they were saying it. So that 55%, that nonverbal, that when you and I are talking and I'm on my phone like this, what message does that communicate to you? It's like, you don't care what I'm saying. I might as well not even be here because you're not paying any attention to me, or you're sitting there with your arms crossed. That's a closed body position. That's something, I really don't care what you have to say. I'm not interested in that. I've got that closed body position. So we give this stuff away. But I'm also a cancer patient. So this is kind of near and dear to my heart. And I'll end it with this. I have had doctors where they will ask me a question and I will start to answer the question, and they will turn away from me and they will start typing on the computer or they will start writing notes. And I know it's for my benefit, but as a patient, it seems to be like, no, 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 no. Look at me, make eye contact with me. And then when I'm done,
Mhm.
paraphrase it back to me. That was something we did as hostage negotiator. We would mirror back to the person what they said because mirroring allows me as the person giving you that. It's like, oh, yeah, that doctor understands what I'm saying. He gets me. And what we're doing in any relationship is trying to build trust.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and I like your definition as well. Just because, like I said, most of us know what it is, but the breakdown of it when you said the metrics, I think most people don't realize that's most of the communication that we do, whether we're aware of it or not. That is just how critical it is. And then you said it so beautifully when you said, as a cancer patient, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sending you and your family so much love and light with that.
Right.
Just the fact that you have experienced when a doctor is doing some nonverbal cues and how that makes you feel unseen, that just shows how critical it is in healthcare, which is why I'm so excited to again to talk to you about this today. Now, moving on a little bit, what are some of the most common nonverbal cues people send without even realizing it? And then also, how does that create trust or a lack of trust?
Healthcare people are busy people. And I found that the doctors that I would say are really good doctors are the doctors who, when they're with me, they're with me. They're not thinking about, well, the next patient I've got is over here. And you can sort of tell there's that divided attention that, yeah, you're kind of here, but you're kind of at your next, whatever the next patient you're going to see. So whenever you're here with me, be here with me. Concentrate on what you're doing. And we have a hard time as human beings doing that. We're always distracted. There's whether it's through our electronics, our phone, our laptop, whatever it is, or whether it's we're thinking about something else or what we're having for dinner or what we're going to do with the kids after work tonight. We've got something else. Live in the moment. That's where life is. I mean, and certainly as a cancer patient, that's where life is for me. I mean, time is very precious to me. So the time that I spend with you, I want I want to know that you're with me, that this is a collaboration, that this is a partnership, that this isn't just one-sided. And I'll give you another example from when I was a hostage negotiator. When we would start negotiating with a person, many times we had no idea why we were there or what precipitated the event. And it would be, I wouldn't start out by saying, hey, Devin, this is Officer Tucker or this is Sergeant Tucker. I would say, hey, Devin, I'm Terry. What's your name? Or, if I didn't know your name, what do you want me to call you? And things like that. So that connection, that personal connection with another human being. And that was another thing as hostage negotiators. We met people where they are. We got down in the weeds with these people. And that was something that was incredibly important to develop that connection. Because if you can actively listen, show empathy, develop that rapport, another name for rapport is trust, and then what does trust do? It leads you to be able to influence that person. And then it ultimately allows you to change behavior. And that's what we as hostage negotiators were trying to do, change behavior, get the person to come out. You as physicians are more, how can I get you to do the surgery that I believe is best for you, or take the medication that I think is best for you, or stop doing something that is harmful to you as a patient. I'm not going to listen to you if I don't trust you. You have to develop that trust with that person.
Yeah, and that's why the nonverbal cues are critical because people can talk and say things out of their mouth, But if their body language, if their facial expressions are not conveying the same meaning, then you're right. That lack of trust is there. And then once that trust is broken, it's so hard for it to get put back. So, having said that, what do you think is one nonverbal habit you think non native English speakers in healthcare should be more aware of and why?
I think from, if you're talking about American patients are at least older people like me. We like looking at people in the eye. Now, I understand that if you come from another culture, eye to eye contact is not something you do. You show respect by not looking people in the eye. So, looking people in the eye, it also gives you confidence. It gives me as a patient confidence if you're looking at me. If you're looking down and I'm talking, what message is that sending to me? It's like, well, is he or she sleeping? Are they taking a rest? Or are they thinking about something else? If you're not looking at me, it doesn't look like you're engaged with me. And again, if you're not engaged with me, I'm going to have a hard time trusting you as a physician, as a doctor. So I think looking somebody in the eye is incredibly important. Again, being in the moment with them. This is, I'm here. I'm here with you. Nothing else matters. I don't care what I have to do after. I am here in the moment with you. I can promise you, you're going to have that trust, and that's going to be a much better relationship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And I like your example of looking people in the eye. At the academy, we don't just deal with the individual doctor. We also work with the healthcare system. So we work with the medical school, the research facility, the pharmaceutical company, and depending on the training or something that they need from us, something that I have trained on is the importance of cultural differences because you're absolutely right in their mind, they think they're giving respect because of the cultural difference. But depending on which country they migrated to, it's considered a big, major disrespect. And that's something that they have not learned in a textbook, you
Right.
know? And so I'm really glad that you brought that up because, yeah, you're right. There are quite a few cultures out there all over the world where if you're looking at someone in the eye, especially someone who is of their parents or grandparents' age, then that is considered like the biggest disrespect. We had someone not too long ago, this was like an individual doctor that came in and worked with us. They were getting all kinds of negative feedback
Mhm.
because he couldn't understand why he was getting a lot of complaints about him as an individual and it was literally keeping him up at night. He could not understand why he was getting these complaints. And for him as a doctor, it was eating him alive. It stressed him out. And so, anyway, I'm saying this because one of the things that we realized when we were working with him is that, first of all, his body language was coming in as like domineering.
Mhm.
And so, in his particular culture, when, like, let's say an older man walks into the room, they have to like literally puff up their arms and it's like to show that they are in charge. Well, he moved here to America. And so then when he moved here and he would walk in the room like, this, and that disconnect was there. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. I was trying to, show that I'm competent." And in my culture, that's what we do. And so when we explained to him, no, actually the opposite is here. You don't walk into a room like that, especially in healthcare, because depending on what you're doing, it's life or death. Anyway, he understood that afterwards. And then once he understood the cultural difference, then it's completely changed. His ability to connect and be in the moment with his patients and his staff, it skyrocketed. So anyway, I'm really glad that you brought that up because those cultural differences are things that they just don't learn in a textbook. And it causes issues, understandably so, which is why we do what we do.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's, and if you're having that stuff, how do you get around that? It's, I don't know, maybe take a colleague into the room with you and just, they're not going to participate, but at the end of the discussion, at the end of the time with the patient, have them give you some feedback. Well, here's what I saw. They were talking, you spent your whole time writing. Well, that's you're not connecting with that person. You're just writing, or you're typing on your computer. You're type now. Yeah, you're typing in all this stuff that they're saying, and that's important. But can you listen to me and then parrot or mirror or paraphrase back what I said? I hear, or it seems like you're saying X, Y, and Z. Now, if you're right, they're like, absolutely, doc, that's what I'm saying. Or, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this. Again, whether you're right or wrong, you are connecting with that person because you said something. Oh, no, 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 let me explain what's going on. Okay, great. Again, it's that give and take, that back and forth. It's not like, as you just said, I'm the guy in charge. And so, you know what? That's the way it's got to be. And you just do what I tell you to do. I mean, maybe that worked 50 years ago, but I think patients are more looking for a collaborative relationship with their physicians than they are, you know, just tell me what to do, including tell me when to die. And I've had that
Yeah.
experience. I've seen doctors say, you're going to be dead in 2 years. And Devin, almost on the date that person, that doctor told them they were going to die, they die. So
Yeah.
understand how much power you have as a doctor in the things that you say and the way that you say them.
Yes, and that is why we work so hard in the academy working with the doctor and the system, just because, yeah, it's those things, like I said, they know English,
Mhm.
but those types of things is what keeps them stuck, and it makes their stress level go through the roof because, like I said, a lot of them, they know there's an issue, but they don't know what the issue is. They know it has something to do with their English, and so it makes them feel less than. It makes them feel like a failure, and the stigma is so real. So I'm really glad that we're talking about this to help, so that way it can help demystify some of these things, because you're right. It's so much more than just English or just the words. It's the way you show up is everything in healthcare. It's literally everything. Now, having said that, how can someone become more intentional about their own nonverbal signals?
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think you have to know what they are. What are you doing? One thing that's really easy to do is to record yourself. Pretend you're having a conversation with a patient and record yourself, and do it two ways. Play back the recording without any visuals, without watching. Just listen to how you sound. What do you hear? And if you were a patient, what would you come across, or how would that come across as you as a doctor? And then do the opposite. Take the sound down and then just watch how you're interacting. You're not hearing anything that's going on. Watch your nonverbals. What are you doing? Are you spending all your time writing? I mean, I had a doctor one time, loved her, was a great doctor. But when I would talk, she would sit there and she would doodle on a post it note. She would just doodle. And it was like, and it drove me crazy. It's like, are you listening to me? And she was. That's the way she processed. She processed by doodling. And I get that. But as a patient, that doesn't make me feel confident in your ability to, one, understand what I'm saying to you, and two, then to whatever you say to me on what I should do or what you're recommending doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So understand what you do. And it may be just a nervous tick. Maybe you sit there and you just tap your toe all the time. You're just tapping. You're just tapping. It's, you've got to know what your nonverbals are. And like I said, set up a camera, set up your phone and just pretend you're having a conversation with a patient. Watch it, listen to it, and see what you can learn from that.
Okay, that's really good advice. And then finally, for anyone listening out there and the light bulb clicked on, like, oh, I'm not paying attention to my nonverbal cues, and this is causing a lot of problems. What's one piece of advice you'd give to them when they're trying to master their unspoken communication today? Like, what's their step one to try to fix this?
One step one is understand what's going on. I mean, you have to understand what the issues are. And step two, understand that just because you're having these things doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad doctor. And the fact that you are interested enough or care enough that you want to make that connection with the patient, it's like any other habit that you're trying to form. It's not going to happen overnight. You're just not going to say, I'm going to look people in the eye all the time. Well, there are days you probably are going to mess up and you're not going to look people in the eye. Okay, regroup, come back to it and see what's going on. So don't think that you're going to change overnight. Habits don't change overnight. If you concentrate incredibly on them, it may take you 30 days before you totally redo that habit or totally get rid of that habit out of your repertoire. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes. And I know, doctors are high achieving people. They want to be the best. They want to do great stuff, but you're also a human being. And sometimes you're a human being in another culture and you're trying to figure this out. The language is a problem. Your nonverbals are a problem. But the fact that you're working on it, be happy with that. Celebrate those small victories and say, you know what, today was a good day. I only did X 2 times. You know what? I did it 6 times yesterday. Okay, great. You're making progress. As long as you're making progress, just connect with people on a human level. If you can do that, you'll figure it out as you go.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so great. That's great to end on a good a high note, just realizing that yes, this is a major issue. However, if you are aware enough and you want to fix it, that's amazing. That's progress. Just doing that alone is it's progress.
Right.
So yeah, I fully agree with you there. Okay, so Terry, where can people find you online?
Sure. Easiest way to reach out to me is I have a website slash blog called Motivational Check. So motivationalcheck.com will get you to me.
Great. And that link for his website is in the description box below. And if you are in healthcare, if you're either the doctor or the surgeon, or if you are a healthcare leader and you need help with your team, we do have a free academy. It's for anyone in healthcare. Myself, as the CEO, and also our team of experts are in there every day standing by to help. So if you want to join us for free, the link for that is in the description box below as well. So thank you so much, Terry, for coming on. This was a very enlightening conversation because it is so much more than just the words. So thank you for coming on. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey.
Well, Devin, thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed talking with you, and hopefully, our conversation is going to make a positive difference in somebody that's listening to us.
It definitely will. And thank you for listening in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.